615-300-2395. That's 615-300-2395. Or stop in at 200 Glenrose Lane in Smyrna.
Hey, Middle Tennessee, it's Mark from the Safe House. Can I have your attention, please? I have an important announcement. Our president has a backbone. Thank you, President Trump. We sleep better knowing our country is protected. And speaking of protection, criminals laugh when you purchase a fake safe from a big box store. There's no better time than now than to visit the Safe House and see what a real safe looks like. Rebates now through the end of July on select brands. Our brands include Liberty, Fort Knox, and Browning. Drop by one of our locations or go to NashvilleSafehouse.com. And remember, we don't just sell safes, we sell peace of mind.
My wife and I enjoy going by Yard Sale Inc. We usually go to both locations, the one in Smyrna as well as the one in Murfreesboro. A lot of times on Saturday mornings we stop by, and their inventory changes weekly, so you never know what you're going to see, and it's mostly open box. The name fits it. It's exactly that. It's a yard sale. If you don't totally agree with the price, the staff is always friendly and nice and willing to work with you.
That's the Yard Sale store in Smyrna at 111 Enon Springs Road West, in Murfreesboro at 204 South Front Street, and online at bestdealintown.com.
Hi, this is Allie Dowenhauer with Isaiah 117 House. Isaiah 117 House provides physical and emotional support for children awaiting foster care placement here in Rutherford County. We are changing the way foster care begins, and those kiddos are brought to our house to hang out and wait for a foster family, and they're given everything they need. We support foster children, DCS, and foster families here in Rutherford County. Visit us at www.isaiah117house.com or visit our Facebook page, Isaiah 117 House, Rutherford County.
Hey, I'm Floyd, and I'm inviting you to join me at CR. That's Celebrate Recovery. We meet at Family Worship Center, 3045 Memorial Boulevard on Sunday at 6 p.m. We're a 12-step Christ-centered program that offers help for all the hurts, habits, and hang-ups that's causing you pain. The program works if you work it, and I'm proof. For other CR groups, go to CelebrateRecovery.com and click on the group finder. Hope to see you soon.
This is Conversations with Mike Sparks.
Are you concerned with the state of America, your state, your community? Then you're in the right place. State Representative Mike Sparks. He and guests are here to talk about local politics, history, faith, and freedom.
That has ever faced mankind. mankind in his long climb from the swamp to the stars. And it's been said if we lose that war, and in so doing lose this way of freedom of ours, history will record with the greatest astonishment that those who had the most to lose did the least to prevent its happening. Well, I think it's time we ask ourselves if we still know the freedoms that were intended for us by the founding fathers. Not too long ago, two friends of mine were talking to a Cuban refugee, a businessman who had escaped from Castro. And in the midst of his story, one of my friends turned to the other and said, "We don't know how lucky we are." And the Cuban stopped and said, "How lucky you are. I had some place to escape to." And in that sentence, he told us the entire story. If we lose freedom here, there's no place to escape to. This is the last stand on earth. And this idea that government is beholden to the people, that it has no other source of power except the sovereign people, is still the newest and the most unique idea in all the long history of man's relation to man. This is the issue of this election. Whether we believe in our capacity for self-government or whether we abandon the American Revolution and confess that a little intellectual elite in a far distant capital can plan our lives for us better than we can plan them ourselves. You and I are told increasingly we have to choose between a left or right. Well, I'd like to suggest there is no such thing as a left or right. There's only an up or down. Man's old age dream, the ultimate in individual freedom consistent with law and order, or down to the ant-heap of totalitarianism. And regardless of their sincerity, their humanitarian motives, those who would trade our freedom for security have embarked on this downward course. In this vote harvesting time, they use terms like the Great Society, or as we were told a few days ago by the President, we must accept a greater government activity in the affairs of the people. But they've been a little more explicit in the past. And among themselves, and all of the things I now will quote have appeared in print. These are not Republican accusations. For example, they have voices that say the Cold War will end through our acceptance of a not undemocratic socialism. Another voice says the profit motive has become outmoded. It must be replaced by the incentives of the welfare state. Or our traditional system of individual freedom is incapable of solving the complex problems of the 20th century. Senator Fulbright has said at Stanford University that the Constitution is outmoded. He referred to the President as our moral teacher and our leader. And he says he is hobbled in his task by the restrictions of power imposed on him by this antiquated document. He must be freed so that he can do for us what he knows is best. And Senator Clark of Pennsylvania, another articulate spokesman, defines liberalism as meeting the material needs of the masses through the full power of centralized government. Well, I, for one, resent it when a representative of the people refers to you and me, the free men and women of this country, as the masses. This is a term we haven't applied to ourselves in America. But beyond that, the full power of centralized government, this was the very thing the Founding Fathers sought to minimize. They knew that governments don't control things. A government can't control the economy without controlling people.
All right, join us on Conversation. Mike Sparks. Want to play that Reagan speech, A Time for Choosing. I think it's one of the greatest speeches ever given. We got a big show tonight, and I want to welcome Roger Thomas for helping, and Jeremy Smithson. How y'all doing?
Doing great, man.
Doing great, Mike.
Connor, how you doing, sir?
Good.
How's school?
That's great.
It's great. Graduated 5 years ago.
Greatest running joke we got.
But you know, yesterday I was at, of all things, I was at a Kurdish rally, Roger. Mm-hmm. Kurdish rally. I got invited by my Kurdish buddy, Z.
Kidding.
I bought 30 cars from that guy. They've been really good to me, and I've known them for probably, I guess, 15 years. And Z even came to my mom's funeral.
Yeah, you know, he's a really nice guy, man. He was at the chili cook-off and seen him around to those things. And the fellow he was on Facebook Live with, he's been here on the show before, the Kurdish fella.
Yeah, Cameron Kurdi.
Yeah,
Cameron Kurdi.
Yeah, he's a really nice guy, man.
He is. He's been on the show.
Is.
He was an interpreter, I guess, with the military and special forces over there.
Yeah.
Big Trump supporter from what I see. You know, I think right now they're a little disappointed with Trump with what's going on now. In fact, I didn't know Cameron was calling in, but he's on the phone. Hey, Cameron, go ahead.
Hey,
Hey, Mark. How are you?
Doing good. Tell us about what happened yesterday.
Oh, thank you. And greeting to your guests and speakers. Yesterday we had a great rally. You came out. I know it was very cold, but we did have a very good turnout. And the reason was basically to raise awareness of what happened in Syria, especially the northeastern part. We call it Rojava, which we do have the Syrian Democratic Forces. Those are like the USA allies. They fought against the ISIS basically courageously. And
Yes.
they end up the Islamic Khalifa, because as you guys know, when the ISIS came in 2014, they did basically start slaughtering and killing the ethnic religion groups, and their aim was to set up like a Islamic Khalifa, basically, but we came together with the support of United States, training, weapons, but unfortunately in the past year, when the Syrian regime was toppled, basically, and President Bashar al-Assad fled to Russia, those people they used to be terrorists, especially the current interim president of Syria, the Julani, Ahmad Shara, they call it, or Julani.
Yep.
There was a $10 million on his head, actually. He was wanted. But I think there was a deal made. They came on power and is basically with the help of Turkey and also our ambassador to Turkey, Tom Barak.
Yep.
They orchestrated something. I think our president being influenced, and also with the Qataris' money, they turned against the Kurdish. They basically started from the Idlib. They shut down, just like how in Iran they shut down the uprising, the electricity, internet. They did a massacre, actually.
Yep.
They desecrated the body of the freedom fighters. One of the women fought courageously when she ran out of the basically bullet. They always remain one bullet to kill themselves, but they don't want to hand it to those terrorists. And they throw her body out of the building because they basically she killed about 18.
Well, let me ask you, Cameron, because we don't have a lot of time. You talked yesterday about freedom. You talked about freedom. Do you feel, and you talked about peace in the Middle East. You really spoke like you thought you'd see peace in the Middle East. Did you say that yesterday?
I do. Even in biblical prophecies that say when Jesus come back, I know there will be chaos.
Yeah.
There will be peace. There will be justice.
Well, I thought,
30 years.
I was in Sunday school this morning. I was sharing with my class about where we're at today, and even the Iranians were 150 feet from us, and it was really a surreal moment for me as the only guy,
redneck.
White guy, elected officials there.
Yeah.
But it was everybody's so sweet, and but you're really making my point. I think we take freedoms for granted in this country. The young people over there protesting, young students. I mean, there was some Rockville High Kurdish students there, and the American Iranians, they were protesting, I guess, wanting the new Shah in and the Ayatollah to be toppled. So they're, I guess, in agreement with President Trump. But let me ask you this, and because I've got to get ready for this with Senator Blackburn calling in. Do you think Americans? You think we take our freedoms for granted?
Yeah, we do, definitely. I've been here since 1999. When you grew up in something, like freedom, you just basically become something normal, not usual, like routine.
Yeah.
But when it's like the saying is going, until you see the darkness, you don't appreciate the light, and
Yes.
we have seen oppressions. We do love the freedom, liberty in here, and we want to spread it out. We want to help our brothers, sisters.
Yes.
And the President Trump has a golden opportunity, like he always called. He will be a person name in history and his legacy if he really topple the regime in Iran and also Syria, make it correct it. Things will happen because, I don't want to take much of time. Like World War I, we defeated fascism in Italy. World War II, Nazism. We know Japan. We help a lot. And this is in Middle East. He does believe in peace. And we have to do something about it. I know the MAGA, they say American first, but American first has always come from over there too. If there is no peace, it will spread out in here like violence. So there is opportunity for us. We do fight for the freedom, and we do have imperative responsibility to help our brothers, sisters, and also our allies who help us and stand with us.
One of the areas that I don't think a lot of Americans or Tennesseans know that Kurdish people, much like the Jews, have been massacred. I mean, there's others that have been massacred, Armenians and others have been massacred over the years. But they're really, I mean, the Kurdish people are just, I mean, loving people, very peaceful people. And why don't we try to have you on the show next week or two and talk about this? But listen in, and I think y'all are going to put together an event and come up to the Capitol, aren't you? Another week or two?
Yeah, we do. And if I say my last message to my brothers and sisters in America, we do have Lindsey Graham and also the Senator Rick, if I pronounce his name, Ramesal, sorry. They do have a proposal that it say save the Kurdish. Now, it's very, very important that the Senator Marshall Black, if she hears me, and also other senators, really helps the Kurdish. It will protect, create a safe haven or a shield internationally will protect Kurdish from being prosecuted anymore. This is very important to let these initiatives to be passed in the Senate and Congress. It will be very, very important, for the Kurdish everywhere.
Okay. Well, thanks for the invite, and Aziz listening, and shout out to his brother Baywar and Dilshad and Ray and Ali and all of them. They've all been great with me. It's pretty surreal as a Christian to sit around 5 Muslim guys and me talk about Jesus, and I've had people say, "Man, ain't you scared?" I mean, scared of what? I mean, man, I trust these people more than I do most of the people in the Tennessee General Assembly. I mean, you can quote me on that, Scott Broden, if you're listening.
We love you, brother. God bless you.
Thank you for what you do, man. We'll see you, sir.
Thank you so much. See you. Have a great evening.
I was expecting. Thank you, Cameron. I was expecting to call in after the interview, but no, we do take our friends granted. That's why I wanted to play that speech by Ronald Reagan, because he's at the time for choosing, because he, in that speech, if you hear him say, I met a guy from Cuba. That guy from Cuba was Rafael Cruz, who I've met before. Rumor is that's him. That's Ted Cruz's father. And in fact, Mayor Joe Carr, I think, happened to be with us when we were at the Capitol. That's when Ted Cruz running for president. But he had said, some congressman in the room, the story I know is somebody says, "Man, you're so fortunate you escaped Cuba." He says, "I was fortunate I had somewhere to go. You have nowhere to go." Yeah. And Z, the other day when we were riding out there, he says, he was talking about, how cold it is. He said, "Dude, we were in a concentration camp like this for 4 years, as cold as it is." And he said, "I don't understand. Y'all want to go camping?" He said, "Who wants to do this stuff, man?" Anyways, he got me tickled. But I know before we get into that, I think you had a shout out you want to do for
I got a few. If
chili
I could,
cook-off. Go ahead.
Yeah. At the down there at the let me see. First of all, I will give Thomas Front Street Pub. I went in there, the old snake pit. Pit. It ain't snake pit anymore, man. You've got to go in there. This place is great. Yeah. And I had some at chili you kept talking about.
I've been hearing about it.
It was really good. I had a burger. Man, it's a great place. It's the place to
I love that poster on the wall.
Oh, yeah. I made a picture of it.
That's
cool.
I've seen it. It's nice.
1914, what he thinks he dates it back to. I'm not sure it's been on there that long, but at the night at the Smyrna Social, Simon's having a chili cook-off from 5 to 7. It's going on right now. And like I said, support your local merchants. This is what this is all about. Yeah. And Tom over to Go Rush on store on Ammerville Road, give him a shout out. And a shout out to the town of Smyrna. What a great job they did, all this size. Man, it's just like that's just that's a well-run town. We got a
my Sunday school teacher, of all things in our Sunday school, Jim Winchester, started off. He said, "Man, we're so blessed living in Smyrna." He says, like the storm kind of passed us over. Have you been out Brentwood and Cane Ridge? There?
What? No, my
trees are down.
He hadn't had no electricity, and he stayed. He said most of them are gone. What? But he's an old CB, and he said I think he kind of invited that to happen. Yeah,
he's in the CBs.
My
father-in-law's in the CBs.
Really? And he had his fireplace going. He made a little video, and he's got his generator.
That dude's ready.
That's all he needed.
It certainly didn't pass the golf course. It certainly didn't pass the golf course.
Sam
There's
Davis
trees.
home.
Yeah, no, there's trees everywhere down on the golf course. That's what we've been doing the past week or so, doing tree cleanup.
Like a lot of cedars at Sam Davis' home, hanging over. They're going down to Maine.
But Brentwood.
But none of our big old trees, it seemed like they were okay.
Trees down. Marty Lumpin's area, trees down.
Granny White Pike. friend of my dad says Rainy White Pike looks like a war zone happened out there.
It's rough out that way. Before we get into this interview, Marcia's going to come on. Roger, I know that you were really impressed. I sent her team. You want to share your comments?
Yeah, she was in here. She was in here last year, and you was doing an interview with her, but we just getting things set up.
Yeah.
And you said, Roger, tell about old Jefferson right quick, and I said, okay. Well, man, I was sitting there telling her story, and man, she gave me full attention. I've never ever had that happen to any politician.
Does your
in my
wife pay
life.
much attention to you?
No, she don't. No, but I was telling her the story, but she actually, and that impressed me. She gave me full attention, and of all the people and all the places she had to be, I think she's going to the fountains later that day.
Yeah.
And like I said, man, I just really impressed. And
you were
she took
excited.
the story in. Yeah. I was, because I said, oh, she's going to sit here and look this way and talk and look. But man, she
was attentive.
She really was. I was impressed, and like I said, she won me over. So
you gonna vote for her?
What? Yeah.
Are you really? Okay.
No, are you?
I guess.
No, she's going to be our next governor, man.
Yeah, you think?
Hands down.
All right.
And
she's pretty lady. She's pretty lady too, ain't she?
Yeah, of all these things, yeah, she's.
We have a pretty
nice.
governor and a pretty mayor.
But of all these places,
I'm talking Mary Esther.
Yeah, I know you.
Not Joe Carter.
but Mike, of all these places and stuff, I met a lot of people through you.
Yeah.
She was the most impressed. I mean, I met the Secretary of State. I met a bunch of them through you.
Well, I know
great people, but she was just the one that made
Yeah.
impact. I guess.
Well, you can. I don't know. Sometimes I don't want to say I see a lot of fakes, but I see people that.
I know, man.
I mean, I don't want. I think everybody at their own heart's genuine, but you see people who truly care, and some who don't.
But you know, you had said something to me that I had a perfect record calling, elections.
Oh, you do?
Yeah. Anyway, I'm calling this one.
Well, you something in your eye.
No, but
something in your eye. You're like blinking. What's going on?
No, but I never have missed one.
Oh,
I really hadn't.
Oh, you mean presidential?
Any of them, anything, locals, anything. I never
serious?
have. Yeah. Oh. Y'all would never know if I really did or not.
Did you think Trump was going to win 7 years ago?
Yeah.
Are you serious?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't.
Yeah.
I won my election.
My
we were still surprised.
My late son is one got me listening to Trump.
Really?
I didn't know anything about him. He said, Dad, you got to listen to this guy.
Yeah.
And I started following him. I go, if people really actually listen to him, they're going to vote for him,
Yeah. Well, I know with,
hey,
I talk about, you got something in your eye. I don't know what it was. No. But, one thing that I appreciate, I've often told people, it's like my pastor just texted me earlier. He, he's going to go see Marty Luffman. Marty just got out of the hospital. And, and just keep him in your prayers. Been praying he'll walk again. Shout out to Tony Campbell for helping him the other day. We got him home from the hospital, but his wheelchair broke down.
Oh.
His handicap ramp's 80 feet, and there's ice all over the ramp.
Oh, man.
Dude, we couldn't get him in there hardly. We had to slide him out of the wheelchair, man. I mean, I'm embarrassed to even say it on the radio.
Well,
we had to lay him on the floor.
Well, you talk about bringing my 96-year-old aunt a gurney up or do the radio show. So.
Oh, it was rough, man. Yeah.
You remember that?
But,
I said, man.
But, Marty took it, and he took it in great stride. He laying on the floor with a pillow.
Marty's a tough dude.
And then he's got his phone on, and he's looking at his phone. He's laid out on the floor. Anyways.
I think all that rodeo stuff and stuff he's doing, Marty's a tough dude.
Oh, he is. He's tough.
Anybody else in that car wreck probably would have done him in. But
I had shared on Facebook about strange synchronicities, and we've got about 5 minutes for the senator calls in. A few years ago, 8 years ago, I had put together an event at Steak and Shake. I think y'all know this story. Yeah. And, my friend was killed in Iraq, Freddie Hahn. Freddie, why this matters to me is I trained Freddie at Nissan. I was telling the senator about this, but we were doing this event, and they scheduled it in like October the 15th or something for the ribbon cutting, for the ground, for the opening ribbon cutting. And I had General Haston come over there, with the military. He was going to meet us, and then they changed the date. Well, of all people, I forgot to call was General Haston. So he calls me, Mike, I'm out here, no one is here. I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, sir. I forgot, I missed, calling you. And he said, oh, no problem. He says, I can't make it next month. I got to go to Poland, with this conflict. And but here, I often talk about one door will get shut and a bigger door will get open. And this is a great example. You know what happened? The ribbon cutting got scheduled the night before Marsha Blackburn's election. and my election.
Wow.
So I put this event together, Steak and Shake. People looking at me like I'm crazy, you know. So I was going to buy everybody dinner, everybody lunch that day. Marvin came with me. Well, I made the comment to Marvin and my wife. I said, I feel bad I didn't get to invite the family of Raymond Mitchell. He was killed by a sniper, 21-year-old killed, shot in the head, for giving a kid a water in Iraq.
And he's buried, and his dad is buried next to my uncle over at Mapleview Cemetery that got killed in World War II.
Yeah, and so I made the comment, I felt bad I didn't get to invite the family of Raymond Mitchell. Remember, I'm inviting the family of Freddie Hahn, because I knew Freddie. Trained Freddie at work, and you know the background. I got it. There was a bully picking on him, and I get into it with a bully behind Quicksack. It's the craziest story. Well, then he comes to my car lot after I left Nissan, 'cause he took my place, and he said, Mike, I've been deployed to Iraq. And my mother, of all times, my mother happened to be there. My mom come in there. She said, son, can I pray with you? We prayed with him. He bought the truck. They still got the truck. You know, his son, Spencer, inherited it last year. And what was wild, at the event, all of a sudden, I see Raymond Mitchell's family. What was so cool, I said, who invited him to Spencer? Spencer said, the manager did. I asked the manager, why'd you do this? I just seen the sign on the road. And that was one of the best events. All the media was there. So Marcia got to meet with the family of Freddie, the widow of Freddie.
That's awesome.
The sons of
That's really good.
Freddie. And I shared that with the senator. I said, this is a good sign for you tomorrow.
Yeah.
And looked in her eyes, and I hope she don't mind me sharing this on the radio, but she got a little teary-eyed about it. But I think we got the senator there. Senator Blackburn, how you doing?
I am doing great, and I hope that you are also.
Yes, ma'am. I don't know if you got to hear us talking about the event that you came in to pay respects to my late friend Freddie Hahn that worked with me at Nissan that was killed in Iraq. You remember coming over there and meeting with the family?
Absolutely, I certainly do, and what a precious family.
Well, I appreciate you.
And what a wonderful day, and your attentiveness to them, I think was really so appreciated by them, and what a wonderful way to honor your friends.
Yes, ma'am. Well, I appreciate you coming out. And one thing I wanted to share with folks is, you know, I don't even know if you remember, you were at my very first political event at Dr. Perkins' house with Michelle Perkins in Murfreesboro. You remember that? That was 16 years ago.
I certainly do.
See?
I certainly do. And we had, you had a really great turnout for a first-time candidate, and I was so impressed. And I found out, a lot of people there knew you from church, they knew you from business. They had just been involved with your life. And, this is one of the things that I really think helps people when they say, I want to throw my hat in the ring and run for office. I usually say, tell me what groups of people you have been involved with. And you want to hear that it's church, it's civic, it's with kids, it's with doing things for the community. That way it is someone who is a giver, who is going to be there to really invest in people. And that was such a wonderful thing to see that day, is the interaction you had with people and how they talked about your intentionality in serving other people.
Yes, ma'am. Well, speaking of serving, you've been serving our great state for many, many years, and you're running for a new role. Won't you tell the listeners why you have it on your heart to run for governor of the great state of Tennessee?
Yes, indeed. What a wonderful time to run for governor, because President Donald Trump is doing us a solid. I tell you what, you have all of this power, authority, responsibility coming back to the states. He is sending things back to the states every single day. And you, as a state legislator, are dealing with this. A governor is going to set these policies. But when it's education and energy and health care and benefits and regulations, one-stop permitting, simplifying government services, all of that, it boils down to being things that we as conservatives have said for decades ought not to ever be handled in Washington, D.C.
Yes, ma'am.
And Donald Trump is finally doing something about that and sending that responsibility back. So I like to say Tennessee does not need a manager. Tennessee needs a leader, and that leader is me.
Yes,
because we can set a new path for our state when it comes to how we educate our children, what doors of opportunity we're going to be able to open, the type of environment we're going to be able to build for business development, when it comes to addressing the needs of infrastructure in our state, when we look at how we deliver health care to make certain that everyone has access to affordable health care. If we're going to do things differently, now is our time, and I am excited about leading our state as we do more or less a reset.
Yes.
And, you know, we've not done a reset in our state since the state income tax battle.
Yes, ma'am.
And
You were
that
involved with
forced
that. Yes.
Yes, that forced us to get lean and efficient, and because of that, we have gone from being at the bottom of the barrel to being one of the most cost-effective states in the country. And in Tennessee, people know that you're going to have less government interference. And I think that working with the legislature and putting some of these new approaches in place, that we can be number one in healthcare delivery, number one in economic development. Our universities can be number one in innovation. We can be the number one energy-producing state in the country. We can be the number one healthcare delivery state and healthcare innovation state. I think we can be number one when it comes to how we educate children and increase the scores for our children. And I think that also, by getting government out of the way, we can be the freest state of the 50 states.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. No doubt. One of the areas you were talking about, some of the issues being number one in is, I wish we're number one in less traffic to Nashville, because the I-24 corridor is busy. We met with the governor last week, Mayor Marister Reed, and our delegation about a new interchange we want to do at I-24 and Rocky Fork Road. And, you know, we're going to need, we're really going to need a miracle. In fact, I prayed before the meeting started, because we literally need a miracle. But just the traffic is so bad. I do think that that interchange, Smyrna's done their due diligence. But, you know, one thing I like about Elon is I love this idea of the loop he's done in Vegas. I love the idea of the loop in Nashville. And the developer, and I think you know the guy, Mr. Lee, John Lee, has told me he's willing to give some land for a potential tunnel to Nashville. And I just think the creativeness and thinking outside the box with folks like Elon and others, because it's I have grandbabies like you have grandbabies that I know you're fixing to see here in just a few minutes, but I really worry, Senator, where this country is going to be in 10 to 20 years, especially when it comes to the traffic areas. And I don't know how much of that's part of your platform, but I know for Rutherford County, I think it's one of the biggest issues we're facing here.
Well, it is a big issue all through Middle Tennessee, around Chattanooga, around Knoxville. You've got juggernaut. And when you look at I-24, whether it's Murfreesboro to Nashville, Nashville to Clarksville,
yes,
and it is such a busy strip of highway. You look at I-40 and where it is coming in on the west, out around Kingston Springs, and then all the way out to Lebanon. And there are some things that I think are going to have to be discussion points. And I've talked to Becky Massey, who is the Senate Chair of Transportation, Dan Howell, who is your chair, and you're on the right track talking about innovation. And yes, indeed, the tunnel that they're talking about and working on from the airport to downtown, what a great idea.
Yes.
Let's do some things differently. And, you know, I think that about 3 governors ago, there was a governor that didn't want to start road projects. And because of that, you had a backlog when Governor Haslam became governor. And then Governor Lee has tried to catch up on it. But the growth has outpaced the infrastructure.
Yes, ma'am.
I
Yes,
don't
ma'am.
know all the answers, just like you don't know all
Yes,
the
ma'am.
answers. But we'll get there and get to the right answer by everybody bringing forward some ideas and looking at different things. You know, I talked to one of our universities. They're doing some studies on transportation flow and latency and signalization. And those are all things that can help, but also how we get people into and out of Nashville, how people are accommodated. Where can we do appropriate busing or routing, or how can we look at new innovative projects like the tunnel? Like I said, it's the right type of question to be asking.
Yes, ma'am. Well, as you know, you've been very supportive of this $400 million investment coming to Smyrna from BNA and the National Guard. And
Yes.
I know you know all our needs. I mean, everyone needs to talk to you about this. But this is exciting news. You know, I was born there. My father was stationed there. It was a World War II training base. And I had an interesting conversation here recently with the Consulate General of Japan. I think it's, I'm not pronouncing his name wrong, Watanabe or something like
Watanabe.
that. Watanabe. And I was suggesting, I said, man, Smyrna has one of the best stories in the nation of the partnering with Japan and Lamar Alexander's leadership and others. You know, I'm thinking about putting in for a budget request for a potential documentary. I reached out to Bob Raines, and I was talking to Bob about this stuff. I've had him at my Rotary Club, met with him a few times, and he liked the idea. And he told me, I didn't realize you used to be the film commissioner.
Yes, indeed. Under Governor Sunquist, I went in and reorganized what had been a film office and turned it into film, entertainment, music, and interactive technology. And that's when we started recruiting and really working seriously and trying to build a destination instead of just being a temporary location from time to time for a movie to be filmed, and embracing the music industry to say, okay, how do we do this so that we're recruiting these businesses to come here and stay here?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Well, I know you've been very supportive of all that. Well, the reason I met with Bob Raines, I didn't like the film. I didn't like the movie, the show, Nashville. I said, why are we giving all these incentives? And he goes, oh, man, if we don't do it, Atlanta and Louisiana's going to. I said, let them film it. We still got Nashville. They're giving us free promotion. And I said, let's help independent folks, producers and independent films, because we have so much here, with our parks department and just the layout of Tennessee. We're really 3 states in one, as you know, with our grand divisions. But Bob was such a great guy. But I had reached out to MTSU. We've got MTSU that could help put this together, 200 companies. But the thing about Smyrna, which I like, is that the reconciliation of Japan and America coming together, now that's our greatest ally, and they employ so many people. And like I said, I don't think there's a better town or city in the nation than Smyrna, Tennessee, with Datsun and Nissan, and with the World War II training base that was there. My mentor was Pearl Harbor. Who?
MacArthur's been there. His wife was from Murfreesboro. Yeah,
MacArthur.
But anyways, I just thought it was interesting when I was talking to Bob Raines about 2 weeks ago, and he mentioned you.
Well, there is a lot that we can do with entertainment, and you have mentioned some of the conservative outlets that are here, or getting some of the independents and conservative folks here. And we have a big group that has come into the state, and they are doing faith-based and family-friendly projects. Daily Wire is doing some, and that's the kind of work you want to recruit, because those are businesses that are going to stay here, they're going to grow here, they're going to employ Tennesseans, and they're going to produce a product that people actually really want to go see. And there's so little that is actually filmed in Hollywood anymore. They're filming up in Canada, and then you've got Louisiana and Georgia that have aggressively recruited that film and TV industry for filming in their states. And I think we have more talented people in film, entertainment, and music in Tennessee than they have in Georgia and Louisiana combined.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Especially right there in Williamson and Rutherford County, right here. A lot of country music stars and even Hollywood stars are right here in middle Tennessee. But I really appreciate you. I've often told my wife and others, half of our job is just showing up, and you've always been willing to show up, whether it's at my first event or coming in to pay respects for Freddie Hahn. And I told you it's going to be a good sign, because they moved that date. It was like October 15th. They moved it the night before your election, and I don't know if you ever got to see the press, but my mother-in-law even called me. People were calling her, was like, your son-in-law is hugging all over Marsha Blackburn. I just gave you a hug. It was all over the news. But I really appreciated you because we had so many people. We quickly strategized. I said, look, why don't you just walk around, because you could barely get through. Come around. Yeah. It was so neat. And Senator, I often talk about confirmation and God wink moments. What was cool is I had asked this, it was a girl at the front of the line. I said, ma'am, do you mind if the family, the widow is first? And it was an African-American girl. And so she was leaving, and she says, I just want to tell you thank you for buying my lunch today. And I was like, oh, ma'am, you're welcome. And it was $100, but I sometimes I'll do something. I'm like, is that really, like, what am I, is this kind of crazy? Because some of these things are kind of different, And here's where God had a plan. The very next day, my assistant Marvin, who's now with Office of the Courts, who's in Williamson County, who's in law school, they just gave him a nice write-up, and we go into Wendy's. We never went into Wendy's. And I seen this black girl behind the counter. I said, you look familiar. She goes, yeah, you bought my lunch yesterday. I'm buying y'all's today. It was so cool. But you coming in and taking the time, even with last year, was really appreciative.
Yeah, it really was.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I think that when we're so fortunate in this country that we have a representative government, and the people get to go to the polls and cast their vote. One person, one vote.
Yes, ma'am.
And that's why we have to protect that election integrity. Yes. And because of the good work of the General Assembly and our Secretary of State and our election registrar, Tennessee's been voted number one.
Yes, ma'am.
In election integrity. But when you get that privilege to take that oath, to represent, to defend the Constitution, it is so important that you show up and work with people. And it's one of the reasons during my time as a U.S. Senator, I have visited every county in the state every year.
Wow.
And I did that every year for my whole entire first
Yes,
term.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
And being on the ground, you get to hear from people, and you get to talk with people about what's important to them. And you find out where there's need. Like today, talking to some people and finding out they're still having these problems with NES.
Yes.
People that are in the National Electric Service area. That, you've got 8 houses on a block, and one of them doesn't have power, and the others do. It's just certain situations, and you're able to help with those situations. Or someone that may need to go apply for some FEMA assistance.
Yes.
And we've worked hard to get that in place. So I love being able to address those situations and help people. And I know as governor, we're going to be able to work with the General Assembly and do even more.
Yes,
for
ma'am.
Tennessee.
Yes, ma'am. Well, let me ask you this. How many grandbabies you have?
Oh, we've got 4.
Wow. Well, grandbabies change your life, don't they? they really do.
And the fun thing is, you can always cook dessert and let them have dessert, regardless of whether it's breakfast, lunch, or dinner.
Yes.
Did that this morning.
To send them home.
Yes, I know. I've always heard that.
Yeah, wire them up, send them home.
That's true. They do change your life. I was telling somebody the other day, I said, if every elected official, every county commissioner, every state representative, every congressman had grandbabies, I think the world would be left. Because you think about the next generation. I know you're thinking about that as you're running for governor, hitting all of our 95 counties. Well, good luck, Senator, and we plan on voting for you here. And
yes,
I hope you carry Rutherford County, ma'am.
Well, I appreciate that. And, if people want to find out about the campaign, go to marshallblackburn.com.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
follow what we're doing and pass along what they're seeing. And they can get information on things we're doing with the campaign. They can donate. They can put $5 in the kitty and help us with the race.
Yes.
They can find out how to get a yard sign and be a part of what we're doing. We're going to build the greatest team for the greatest state, and we are going to be number 1.
Amen.
Amen. Yes, ma'am.
Well, thank you so much, ma'am. And call us anytime you want to come back on the air, okay?
Thank you.
You got it. Take care. Bye
Take care.
now.
Bye. Bye. Connor, why don't we take a quick break? We'll be right back.
Josh Moss with Affordable Heating and Cooling provides residential HVAC and duct cleaning services to the Middle Tennessee area. With more than 20 years of experience, Josh Moss and the AHC team provide 24/7 service and take care to ensure whatever work you need done is done in a professional, timely manner. Contact AHC at 615-745-1676. That's 615-745-1676. Or go to their website at affordableheatingandcoolingtn.com.
Most people know that their insurance can provide them with coverage for the many life's mishaps. But I can help you also unlock discounts, save money, and get benefits with Farmers Insurance policy perks. Whether we're discussing home or auto insurance, I am here to help you understand these great perks. Call me, Mark Lewis, at 615-625-7070 for a quote, and you can get a whole lot of something with Farmers policy perks.
We are farmers. Bum, 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 bum.
Not available in every state. Only available at select Farmers branded policies underwritten by Farmers Truck or Fire Insurance Exchanges or affiliate.
Want a flawless look without the wait? Step into the Vanity Zone in Smyrna, where upscale style meets everyday convenience. Specializing in precision cuts, color services, waxing, and more for men, women, and kids. All delivered by highly trained stylists with an eye for detail. And don't miss the signature hot towel refresher, the perfect finishing touch that leaves you feeling clean, relaxed, and ready for anything. Walk in or book now the Vanity Zone in Smyrna. Looking your best is always in style.
At Dr. Automotive in Smyrna, we're committed to providing local car owners with top-notch auto repair services. With over 2 decades of experience, our ASC certified master technicians are experts in both foreign and domestic vehicles, ensuring accurate diagnosis and timely, cost-effective repairs. From oil changes to major engine and transmission repairs, we've got the cure for your car. Dr. Automotive, keeping your car running smoothly, mile after mile. Visit our website, smyrnaautorepair.com.
My wife and I enjoy going by Yard Sale Inc. We usually go to both locations, the one in Smyrna as well as the one in Murfreesboro. A lot of times on Saturday mornings we stop by, and their inventory changes weekly, so you never know what you're going to see, and it's mostly open box. The name fits it. It's exactly that. It's a yard sale. If you don't totally agree with the price, the staff is always friendly and nice and willing to work with you.
That's the Yard Sale Store in Smyrna at 111 Enon Springs Road West, in Murfreesboro at 204 South Front Street, and online at bestdealintown.com.
All right. That's the Indian version of the YMCA. Is that what that is? Is that it? Because we're not allowed to play it because of copyright.
It's the Kurdish version.
It's the Kurdish version. Oh, okay. Anyways, I see Angela in the house and her sidekick, Angie. Is Angela not just the sweetest thing? She is the sweetest. I wonder if she can hear me. Angela, can you hear me? Wave at me, girl. Wave at me. Hey, I heard her sing at the county courthouse one day, man. She rocked that place.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've heard you can, yeah.
She sang Amazing Grace. It was so cool.
Oh,
yeah.
Had a little bit of chord where you did.
It was so cool. But I thought the interview went good. What do y'all think?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. If
I got a yes and a no. I got to back my story up. You know, I said I always hit it. Who's going to win? I go like, yeah,
okay.
Hey, Mike.
I think I'm pretty good at calling elections.
On a serious note, I think she brings up a good point about bringing a lot of media to Nashville.
Yeah.
I mean, you've already got Daily Wire, and you've got a whole bunch of other things.
Keeping it home, what she's talking about.
Right. Yeah.
Keep it here.
Well, the thing about the film and set, a lot of folks, I mean, fiscal conservatives, like I is, you know, you want the return on investment to be there, and that's why when I went to the film commissioner, I think I've shared that with y'all. I had these cool pants on. These really cool pants.
Those, like MC Hammers?
Like polo.
You got bell bottoms on?
No, they were some cool pants. And the film commissioner, if Angela's listening, I don't know if she's listening. Angela liked this story. And I went, my assistant and I went, and I was like, hey, man, I think the whole film thing about Nashville I think it's terrible. It's a waste of money. He spent $6 million. And, you know, he goes, oh, man, it's going to go to Louisiana, Georgia. If we don't do it here, so let them do it, brother. Let them do it. We get the free PR. At their expense. To me, it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. And the guy looks at me and goes, man, them are the coolest pants I've ever seen right there. And I've never had a man compliment my pants. No, they were cool pants, so they really were. And but I was uncomfortable though when man complimented my pants. I was getting like a little nervous.
Your man card kind of fell a little bit out of line there.
And I told him, I said, hey, brother, guess where I got these pants at? Guess where I got them at?
Yeah, you tell him you asking me.
Where I got the pants. I got them pants at Goodwill.
Yeah.
It's a store that sells used clothes and books and stuff.
No, you've really got a lot of good stuff, man.
Dude, I found some bargains, man.
Yeah, I mean, you shop it, though. I mean, I don't think you just walk in. I think you should really check it out.
Well, I try to do more with less.
Yeah.
You know, there's a book about that.
Oh, yeah. Who wrote that?
It's available on Amazon. Check it out.
Who wrote that?
I think I've heard about that.
How to Do More with Less by Mike Sparks. Just Google it. Should come up. What is Angela going to talk about tonight, Connor?
Their show is called Let Freedom Ring.
Oh, they're talking about freedom? Are you serious? Wow. Okay. Cool. That's we've been talking. That's our motto tonight. So that's another coincidence. Yeah. But it was neat when she came in, and often talk. Like I had a guy call me today. He was a little upset. He didn't get a job. Okay. He didn't get this job. He a little disappointed, and I was telling him, hey, look, man. I said, you need to pray about it. You need to pray about it. Ask God to will this in your life, give you a favor, but you got to be sincere. You got to really ask with a true heart. And I said, doors often get closed, but a bigger door gets open. Yeah. Like when the former governor come against me, Haslam, they spent $150,000. That's a good thing. When Antifa was in front of my house, that's a good thing.
How about the guy that ran Reed last time, the killer?
Spent $200,000. That's a good thing.
And he still got $200,000 worth of signs around the county he didn't pick up.
Really, God uses hardships in our life to move us and shape us and mold us to where you have the conviction to move forward. So, you know, folks are out there, they're troubled, they're down. I mean, it goes job loss, sickness, I mean, you know, but you can't give up. You got to keep the faith. I mean, the thing I like about these Kurdish people, man, they know hardship. We don't know hardship. I thought I had it hard. I was on the free reduced lunch program, having to walk to work sometimes when my cars broke down. These jokers walked miles, and Saddam Hussein, you know, killed almost 100,000 of the Kurds. So, folks out there, if you don't know any Kurdish people,
it didn't end very well for him, though, did it?
No, it didn't. You know what I mean? Was he hiding out in a tunnel or something? Found him?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that didn't end too well. You better think the long.
But we do need to count our freedoms,
like
man.
Oh, yeah, you're exactly right.
You know, our Sunday school lesson this morning was on, the title was Jesus Matters. I thought that was an interesting topic, Jesus Matters. And Jim Winchester, just a great guy. And he didn't come to know Christ till he was like 50 years old, you know. And he was wild as a buck growing up. But I brought up Marty's handicap ramp. It's like 80 feet long. It was full of ice of the day. Wheelchair broke down. I thought we was going to have to call the fire department. It was so serious. And but I told him, I said, what motivated you to build that handicap ramp? So how much you make on a handicap ramp? He said, nothing. I said, you know, because Jesus mattered. It was the Holy Spirit that motivated his heart to have the compassion to go over there and help Marty.
Well, bringing up Marty, you know, February 28th at 10 a.m. we're having the Old Jefferson tour.
Oh, yeah.
We're having that.
Oh.
But what we're going to do, we've added another little attraction to this. If Marty's feeling okay, at 9:30 before we go out on the tour, Marty's going to come down to where we park and tell the story of the Trail of Tears.
Yes.
So we're going to, because I always want Marty involved. Any kind of history, I always want him involved. He said, Roger, I can't do it. I said, no, you can sit right there and tell the story.
Yep.
And he said, if it's not raining, if he's feeling okay, and then I'm going to put out a post tomorrow. I'm going to call him tomorrow and confirm everything, see if we're, how he's feeling.
Yes.
And I've got a picture of the very first, Toby Francis gave it to me, the very first Old Jefferson tour. I'll send you a copy tonight.
Yeah. Well, folks don't know what Old Jefferson is, because I text Marcia's people about.
Yeah.
I mean, she knows a little bit of Old Jefferson, but to really tell the story, a lot of people don't really realize what's going on.
It was the county seat from 1804 to 1811, and the Trail of Tears goes through there. And like I said, man, it's just, when the Percy Priest Dam came in, they miscalculated that they tore this town down, burned it down, moved graves. My family from 1850s were there.
And, a lot of families.
Yeah, and my mom was born there. And what happens? Nothing. It doesn't flood. They tear it down for no reason.
Yep.
So I think with this people we know, T-Deck and all these people, and Governor Blackman.
Well, T-Deck
and Governor Blackman, she gets in there, and we get all these people we know. We can get a little park in there somehow.
Especially if Charles Jones willing to put up
I think we can
$2 million.
I want to do it with my lifetime. I'll be 71. I want it in my lifetime,
Yep. Well, I've learned sometimes things may not work out, but I think they eventually work out.
Yeah.
Hope we can see them.
Maybe our grandkids would go there and check it out and say, hey, my dads were...
I want my grandkids to ride in a tunnel to Nashville so they don't have to fight the traffic.
Oh, yeah.
In a Tesla.
Yeah.
Like a little a bus thing, shuttle.
Well, you've already got Gracie.
It's called a subway.
You've got all kind of videos. Gracie sitting up behind the steering wheel.
She's ready to drive.
She's ready.
She loves cars.
How old's Grace now?
She's 3.
She's 3? Wow.
She's already been doing this for a year.
Now, she loves cars. She really does. Got Henry too,
Oh, yeah.
But I do think Marcia's camp reached out to me like 6 months ago about endorsing, and I just, I figured I would anyways. I mean, John Rose, nice guy. His wife Chelsea's sweet girl. Monty Frisk, friend of mine, great guy. You got some great candidates. I've just, had I've known Marcia for all these years. She's been supportive, but her taking the time out to meet with Freddie Hahn's grandfather, or his father, his sons, his widow. I seen the tears in her eyes when I told her the story about Freddie and how this is a good sign for her. She's going to win tomorrow. That matters to me.
Yeah, she's going to win this one. And like I said, man, and like you said, I only met her twice, up here at the Gateway. But here, man, I was so impressed. I said, man, she's legit. She's the real deal.
Yeah,
she's the real deal.
It was cool.
Oh, yeah.
All right. Well, folks, thanks for listening. We'll catch up with you next Sunday night.